3 weeks into the NFL season, and we have major problems in Denver. What's going on, everybody? Jaron DSB back in the building, and we got some football talk for y'all. In Denver, 3 weeks have gone by, and shit is hitting the fan. Can't stop nobody, can't run the ball, can't pass the ball. The coaching, the fuck is going on, right? They got Russ over there, who they paid $250 million. Sean Payton, who is supposed to be this guru, the guy who's going to change life, the guy who is going to essentially unleash Russell Wilson, because since he's gotten to Denver, he has been a shell of himself, right? All those things. Here we are, 3 weeks into the 2023 NFL season. It's not looking good in Denver. They just got 70 points dropped on them. They just got washed. Their season should be over. In researching for this video, I was looking at their defensive numbers. Through 3 weeks, it looks like they've played an entire season already. This does not bode well for them. Midway through the season, I shudder to think where they're going to be midway through the season. Can they give up 70 points again? That's something I want to see. This week, week 4, the Broncos face the Bears. 0-3 versus 0-3. We can only go up from here, boys. Justin Fields in Chicago, they have their own problems. We'll get into that in another video. Let's talk about the problems with the Broncos and, more importantly, Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. And going into week 4 against the 0-3 Chicago Bears, can they pull out a victory? Should this be a victory? I think this should be a pretty easy victory, but anything can happen. Who's to blame for what the hell is going on? So through these 3 games, Russell Wilson has a completion percentage of 65.4. He's passed for 791 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's been sacked 10 times through 3 games. He is on pace for a minimum of 60 sacks right now. If it keeps going how it's going, he's going to finish the season with a minimum of 60 sacks. I think he actually has the most in a season with 55, if I'm not mistaken, when he was in Seattle. Back to the point at hand. So either Russ is holding on to the ball too long, or he just doesn't have the time. Are the receivers getting open? You look at the receivers he has: Marvin Mims Jr., Cortland Sutton. Those are his 1 and 2. Marvin Mims, 195 yards, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown through 3 games. Cortland Sutton, 189 yards, 17 receptions, 2 touchdowns through 3 games. And then they have Brandon Johnson and Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, coming out of Alabama, we thought was going to be a major player in Denver. When Russ came through, then you got Jerry Jeudy, you thinking it's going to be major action. We're not getting that from Jerry Jeudy. And I know he not happy in Denver right now. I know Jerry Jeudy definitely thought having Russ, it was going to turn out a lot differently than it did. We all thought it was going to turn out differently. Back to these numbers, though. So you got Brandon Johnson and Jerry Jeudy, who have combined for 215 yards and 4 receptions. 2 touchdowns going to Brandon Johnson. Jerry Jeudy is essentially a non-entity in this offense. He has no place here as of right now, but he is a formidable receiver. He can do more than just a job. We can't forget who he was coming out of college, and he's only a couple years removed from that. So maybe this just isn't the situation for him. Might be time for Jerry Jeudy to move on to a better situation, because I'm sure there are a ton of teams who would love to have his talent in their wide receiver group. The O-line struggled to protect Russ last year. They were a middle-of-the-pack O-line towards the bottom, and this year they were ranked 20th going into week 3 by Pro Football Focus. Like I said earlier, they've already given up 10 sacks through 3 weeks. On pace for 60, maybe more. We'll see. The defense, week 3 was an anomaly. You got beat by 70 points. I don't think that's habit. Let's just say that was a bad week, right?
70 points with 8 minutes to go.
The DBs, first of all, led by PS2, should be a lot better than that. The Broncos, they're not getting blown out in their losses like the one they had in Miami. Week 1 and week 2, they had the game right there. When they played the Raiders, up 10-16, going into the 4th. Defense couldn't hold up. Offense couldn't score any points. They lost the game, 17-16.
Garoppolo looking to throw again. Slant, complete. Jacoby Myers Davis, touchdown Raiders, 6 yards.
You win a whole quarter, ain't score no points. Defense gave up a score. You lost by a score. Gave up 3 touchdowns to the Commanders.
You've got to keep Sam Howell in the pocket. Don't let him extend. 4th down pass to the end zone. It is caught.
You were up 18 in the second quarter.
Howell slinging it to the end zone. Was it caught?
You lost the game, 35-33.
On the cusp of 300 yards passing in this game. 1st down and more. Robinson, and he's in.
Why were you in that position in the first place? So that defense, something's wrong with that defense in Denver. The defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, has to address those questions quickly. Because if you walk into Chicago with that defense that got 70 points hung on him, and you let Justin Fields have a day on you, with that sorry-ass 0-3 team that he got, oh, it's bad in Denver. Mile high, y'all high as hell on that defense. If y'all walk into Chicago and get blown the hell out again. Between that offense running into a brick wall and that defense either getting gassed or just taking their foot off the gas, one of the two. Even Zach Wilson and the Jets fucking took advantage of a victory. Took one from the Bills. Josh Allen played like trash that game, but they stole one. The Broncos ain't stole jack but money from the people of Denver and of Colorado as a whole. Sean Payton, he's culprit number 1, I think everyone's looking at right now.
Sean Payton came in here with his chest all out. That was the worst coaching exhibition I had ever seen.
About Nathaniel Hackett last season.
Yes. And you just got 70 dropped on your dome.
Through 3 weeks, there's no reason people on Fox, ESPN, all these sports outlets should be talking as bad as they're talking about this team.
Sean Payton was worried about all of the wrong things in the offseason.
Yeah, they might be running to judge pretty quickly, but pretty quickly, it's pretty fucking bad. Rex Ryan said 60 years old, and he ain't never seen nothing like this.
But on the other side of it, that's the worst defense. I've only been on the planet for 60 years, never seen anything that bad.
You cannot do any worse than getting 70 points hung on you. You can't go further than that. If you go lower than that, heads gotta roll. People gotta leave. I'm the last one to advocate for somebody being fired. But if what happened in Miami happens again, good God, Sean Payton, it might be grand opening, grand closing pretty quickly. The Waltons, what are you guys doing up there? Like, when Russ left Seattle, right? He was in the conversation, top 10, maybe, fringe top 5 QB. Not, but for the sake of the conversation, top 10 QB, right? Gets the change of scenery. Goes to Denver. Young team, veteran quarterback. He's going to lead them to where they need to be. They got the guy who worked with Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett. He's the head coach. You know, this is going to be some high-powered offense we're going to see, right? No, that's not at all what happened. And it's not happening this year now that they have a new head coach in Sean Payton. How can this change? There's only one way to go from here. It's up. There's no doubt that Russ has to play better. But we got to get some production out of the run game. Javonte Williams, this starter, has 138 yards through 3 games. It's 48 yards a game. Averaging 3.8 yards a carry. And then Russell Wilson is their next leading rusher. He's got 57 yards rushing on the year. If that's going to be the trend going forward, you guys are going to be averaging around 14 to 21 points. If you come out of Chicago with a loss, Sean Payton got to look in the mirror. Russ got to look in the mirror. The front office has to look in the mirror. And you have to think, what are you doing with the young guys that you have on that team? Are these guys that you want to go forward with in building this team? If they're not producing in your system, send them to a system where they can produce. Because the formula that you guys have in Denver isn't working for the players. or the players don't work for the formula. One of the two. It got 70 points hung on you. What happened with that defense, you would think can't happen again. So here's to the Broncos. There's only one way to go, and it's up. 70 points has got to be rock bottom. We've got the Bears. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what happens. Broncos country. We'll see if y'all gonna ride again. Jaron DSB. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.